Hello.
Hi V, how are you?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. It's been a while.
Right? It's been quite a while, but let's start off this podcast, guys. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Approaching Your Future with your hosts, Dana Khan and Victor Rivero, where we take steps forward towards your goals. And today we'll be discussing free things to do in Boston, one of our favorite topics. Right, V?
Yes. Yes, and I'm actually excited for this because I think that as an international student, we all know that if there is an issue that we all have is the budget, right? And to have fun sometimes it will cost money. But here's a good thing. Boston has free things to do. Things that you can just go and explore and have fun and bring people with you as well. So we'll be exploring these.
That is true, V, and I think that that is one of the biggest things that international students do have to deal with because Boston is expensive, guys. Boston is an expensive place to be in, but don't worry because there's a bunch of stuff to do for free and super cool activities. So let's get going. First of all, talking a bit about historical places and places that we can visit for free, cool places that we can be in Boston. Going a bit through this list that I have here, guys. And in fact, I think I can share my screen and show you guys. So you guys have access to the same places. So let's do this. Let's do this one. All right. So can you see my tab?
Now we can. Whoever is watching this and is on a computer, you would definitely enjoy more because you'll be able to visualize us and what we're presenting. So that's just a side note.
But as you see, guys, there's a bunch of websites you can check out for free stuff to do in Boston. And a few of the stuff that they offer is, of course, historical sites. So, for example, walking the Freedom Trail or eating in Faneuil Hall, which is delicious. It's Quincy Market. Have you been to Quincy Market, V?
I actually have. Well, Quincy Market is a very interesting place because it has a lot of different options for food, right? And the cool thing is that like you will find local food like lobster rolls and cannolis. They're not so local, but they're a big thing in the North End and in Boston. So you will find a lot of options like that. On the other side, the Quincy Market is also really really interesting because you get to see a little bit of history. It's an older building, so definitely worth a visit. There's plenty to see, plenty to walk around, so definitely worth checking out.
Yes, and if you want to get some good oysters or some like street food, I think Faneuil Hall is perfect for that. It's really pretty, and usually when I go there, I always see street artists or like street performers, so that's super cool to see. The other one here that they offer is laying out in the common. That is something that we personally had a lot to live with, and while we were studying at Emerson, because our school was in front of the common. But I love the common, guys. It's today's a gorgeous day. It's a gorgeous day to go out and lay out in the commons, for example. But also the public garden, beautiful to go on the frog pond, to go on the not the frog pond, excuse me, the pond that they have there, and do the little rides that they have. I love the common. Have you been to the common often, V? Was that part of your Emerson experience as well?
No, definitely. I did go a lot to the Commons. I mean, it's kind of like a free spot for you to hang out with your friends. You can do picnic. You can play soccer or any sort of games that you can play in like in an open space. I do see a lot of people bringing their pets to, like people playing with dogs, and a lot of good things can be done there if you're playing with your friends. However, you can always check out the Boston calendar to see what's going on there, because there are also a lot of free events, and that can also be really fun. Also remember that the Boston Commons is right next to the Public Garden. They kind of like look like the same thing. Not like they don't look the same, but they're in the same location. So some people assume that it's one whole park, but the Public Garden is just as good as the Commons, also to relax and see a bit of the skyline, and see tourists going around, and maybe college students as well. Definitely a good place to go and to spend some time.
I agree, V. I agree definitely. Here I pulled up a couple of the other things that I find super cool to do in Boston. A Harvard tour. Harvard is probably the most prestigious and well-known university in the world, and it is here in our home, in our backyard, right in our backyard. So definitely go check it out. Go get a tour of Harvard. It's a beautiful institution. It genuinely is. The whole space is gorgeous, and I know that V has a big affinity for the Harvard art museums, right?
Yes, that's true. I do. I love the Harvard Art Museum. I do love the whole environment in Cambridge, which is where Harvard is located. As a matter of fact, right next to Harvard, there's also MIT, there's Tufts University. There are a lot of interesting, not just institutions, right, like Tufts and Harvard and MIT, but there are also a lot of cool parks in that area that you can just go and relax and see the kind of like feel the energy of the space, and that already is a lot. Honestly, I do like sitting down there reading a book sometimes, but keep in mind, of course, you can do these things when the weather is good. Because you don't want to sit down in the Harvard yard whenever it's too cold or whenever there's too much snow, right?
Right, B. And it's today is a perfect day for that again. Like we're seeing a really good weather in Boston, which is interesting and very new for us. So definitely go explore. It's the best moment to go explore. I also pulled up here the Arnold Arboretum, which I know you've been to. So please tell me more.
No, yes, I've been there. It's totally free. And actually, the arboretum, I don't think you can do everything in one day. So this is the type of place that you can go like at least 2 or 3 times to actually get to know and explore, right? The arboretum, it's kind of like a reserve, not too far from the city of Boston. I mean, like Jamaica Plain is a part of Boston, so it's kind of like around the city. It's a huge park. I wouldn't say that it is as big as a Central Park, but it's huge. You can go for good hiking. You can see a really nice landscape there. You see different types of trees from all over the world, which is also super interesting. So also another place that is worth exploring and checking out. Like it says there, it's over 260 acres of free public space. So there's so much space to take advantage there.
I agree, V. And the last one I'll pull up in this website is the free beer tours, which I did not know about. But as you guys know, Sam Adams, the one of the major beers in the U.S., was founded in Boston. It's a Boston beer, and therefore I think they have tours of their Boston brewery. Apparently, they occur every 45 minutes. You have to be over 21, of course, but who doesn't love free beer? Come on.
Yeah, no, and also Boston has an amazing scene for beer in general. Like there are a lot of different breweries. Not only Boston, I like to say New England is kind of like the spot where it is. If you go to Maine, you'll find amazing breweries as well. If you go to New Hampshire, you'll find amazing breweries as well. So it's like it's all over the area. However, Boston is the heart of it, and you will find a lot of interesting attractions. You can go, like they say there, it's like a free. You can go for free beer tours at Sam Adams, but there are also different breweries that are very famous. Like there's Harpoon, which is definitely worth checking out. Not sure if it's free, but definitely worth checking out. And there are a lot of places, a lot of bars, pubs that can also give you a little bit of a sample if you choose a beer that you don't really know. So I guess it's a Boston thing to go around, maybe do bar hopping. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Donna, but bar hopping is something that people do a lot here, even more in Christmas Day. It's like nearing Christmas actually. You see a lot of people dressed as Santa Claus, and they go around the bars. They, it's so fun. It's really fun. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely.
No, I definitely have seen that. B. I would love to. I would love to go. I haven't been to the a pub crawl, is what they call it.
Uh-huh.
But I would love to. Honestly, I think it would be super fun. On that note, you were talking about MIT before, and you can also take a tour of MIT. It's also one of the free activities you do in Boston. MIT is gorgeous. I personally haven't been there. Have you been to MIT inside?
Yes, it's an inspiring environment, and I have a lot of good things to say about MIT. Actually, like I know that a lot of people know that MIT is one of the I don't know, the one of the best universities in the world. But for me, it's an area that, of course, it's inspiring. It's kind of like it has a lot of historical buildings. It's a mixture of modern and old, which I love. There's a beer there also, like, it's the architecture is beautiful as well, but the people, the individuals in that area, I think that they aggregate a lot to the space. So it's a good place to explore. You, depending on where you're going there, you can make a lot of new friends. And yeah, I mean, another thing is that the MIT, sometimes they have free events. So if you're looking to, if you want to do some networking, or if you're just looking for things to do that are related to college, to explore different colleges and know, go there. Like, you can find really interesting things to do for sure.
Oh wait, sorry. I love that. I love that, V. The other thing I wanted to point out is it is Black History Month, guys, and so and around Beacon Hill, there's around 14 sites that are very important part of the African American history. They have to do with the heritage trail. So I think that it'd be a beautiful thing to go explore and see, and it's an opportunity to learn. So I think that's definitely one that I would love to point out. And the next one I wanted to talk about is right here in our backyard is the Coil Observatory at Boston University, which offers free stargazing, guys, with telescopes and binoculars and everything. And this happens on Wednesdays. Of course, it's due to weather. Probably today is a perfect day for it. But this is right in our backyard, so for those of you who are attending in person at Allston, or live around Allston. This is amazing to go do some stargazing, have a little date or a friendly date. I think it's a great opportunity. I didn't know about this. Did you know about this, V?
No, no, I did not know about this one either, but definitely very interesting and worth checking out. Very close to approach in Austin, which you can go stargazing, and then you can find some really nice restaurants in the area, so you can also eat and just complete your itinerary. That's the cherry on top.
Exactly, exactly. So now let's go to one of my favorite things, which is the art galleries that are open. So Boston has a variety of different museums, and they tend to have like specific nights that are free. For example, the ICA, which is the Institute of Contemporary Art, has free Thursdays. So basically, everyone can enter the art gallery for free on Thursdays from 5 to 9 p.m. And this has been going on for super long. You can actually find this in our activities calendar as well. And it's honestly, the Institute of Contemporary Art is probably one of my favorite museums in Boston. I think it's gorgeous. It has housed one of the most well-known exhibitions. Last year, they had the Virgil Abloh exhibit right before he passed away. They also had a Yayoi Kusama exhibit. They have a variety of incredible artists here featured, and I think it's a great opportunity to learn more about art, right, V?
Definitely, and like you said, it has a lot of interesting, exhibits there. I feel like the Institute of Contemporary Art, or the ICA, is a wonderful place if you like modern art. But there are different options if you're a fan of oil painting as well, or sculptures, or just like, world history. There are a lot of options. Like we've mentioned before, there's a Harvard University Art Museum. There's the Museum of Fine Arts, which is definitely a place that you have to go to, being free or not. You need to go there. It's amazing. Um, and one of the ones that I'm seeing here, I have never been to the Commonwealth Museum, and I've never been to the Warren and Anatomical Museum, but definitely interested in finding out more about those.
Yeah, V, I agree. I was actually just looking into it because this, for example, let's go through this museum list, guys, so you guys are aware of what they are. The ICA is a contemporary art gallery, and so it houses like usually contemporary artists, and that's where you can find what's going on in the art world in today's day. You know, but the Commonwealth Museum, Victor was saying, it's a museum that explores the history of Massachusetts, and it's free. It's free every day. So I think that's a great opportunity to go. The Harvard Museum of Natural History. Have you been to? I've actually been to them when I did a little summer camp. I actually visited some of the natural history museums at Harvard. They are beautiful. They are free for Massachusetts residents every Sunday morning and Wednesdays, and they're also free for Massachusetts teachers from K to 12. So that's super cool to know. It's still a beautiful place to go, and whether it is free or not, I think that if you like natural history, it's a great place to visit.
Definitely, I like we say in Brazil, Dana. I was signed right under. I agree with everything you said. Definitely worth checking out. Don't miss out. And look, Harvard University art museums, they're very interesting. We can guarantee you that. And it's I would say they're not overrated or underrated, but I don't think people know about it enough. So, explore. Go out and explore and check it out.
Yeah, I've actually haven't personally visited the art museums, only the natural history ones. So I think that's a great opportunity for myself as well. These museums are free on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So it's a great thing to do tomorrow morning, guys. Go out, go and explore that museum. Get a little breakfast around Harvard Square, which has beautiful breakfast spots, like the Tavern. I think I forget the complete name of the place. I think it's Russell Tavern House. Beautiful, delicious place for breakfast, and then go and visit the art museums.
Yes, I definitely wanted to pinpoint a very familiar sound that we just heard, which is the green line. Guys, this sound that was like behind, kind of like in the back of Donna's voice a few seconds ago, is a very distinct noise that you will hear in Boston if you're near the Green Line. We used to go to Emerson College, and that sound was very present in our campus. Some people say I have PTSD every time I see the Green Line because of the sound. So just saying, it's a side note, but it's also a curiosity of Boston.
Exactly. It's like the background noise of Boston. I love it. But anyways, guys, so the Museum of Fine Arts, which as Victor was saying, one of the most incredible museums in Boston, definitely something where you need to go, whether it is free or not. It has over 40, as it says here, it has over 450,000 art pieces, and it houses one of the most well-known artists, like probably like many of the most historic and well-known artists of our decade and the last century as well. So super important to go. It is free on Wednesdays after 4 p.m. So definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
And the last one on this list is the Warren Anatomical Museum, which is the coolest thing I've ever read. I didn't even know this existed. A macabre museum with Civil War era medical tools as well as medical mysteries that is free every day. I want to go to that one. I want to. I wonder why it's called Warren Anatomical. I'm gonna look this up, but I want to go to this one.
No, me too. I have no idea where it is though, but I will definitely check it out even more because I'm a big fan of history. I'm a big fan of like war related history, World War One, two, you name it. So definitely worth checking out. Keeping in mind that the history of the United States has been based in a lot of different wars and revolutions. So it definitely is worth checking out.
Yes, guys. So upon a bit of research, the Warren Anatomical temporarily closed. But it is actually a Harvard museum. It is one of Harvard museums. It was founded by one of the professors at Harvard with last name Warren, and this professor was created a medical museum, right? So I think that's super cool. Definitely when it opens again, it's a great place to go and check out.
All right. So we're getting to our last and kind of last and first because I was one of the ones that we've mentioned before. How in Boston you can do a lot of free walking tours. Whatever you walk in this city, you find history. And that's one of the most fascinating things about Boston, definitely. So, the more you walk around the city, the more things you find, the more you explore, the more you understand the dynamics and the anatomy of the city, you know. So taking a free walk is always good, right?
Right, V, I agree. I think the best thing you can do if you're new to Boston is to go and walk because Boston guys can be walked from top to bottom. Like Boston is one of the only cities I think that is genuinely walkable, like everywhere from Boston to Cambridge to Allston to Brookline to Mission Hill and Jamaica Plain and Beacon Hill. Like you genuinely can get everywhere walking, and it's a delicious city to walk in. Not only that, but you'll get to meet, as Victor said, the anatomy of Boston, the way it's laid out, the way the different places connect. Because I think that's the best part of Boston. Once you're already like living here for a bit, you're like, oh, I'm going to Cambridge. Oh, that's that way, or we're going to that way, or that's too far. I think that Boston is too small for us not to know where everything is, you know?
Totally agree. Totally agree, Donna.
But yeah, guys, I think that kind of sums up a bit of the free activities we can do in Boston. I'm sure there are many more, and they happen to be seasonal usually, guys. They tend to be seasonal activities, so definitely check it out. The Boston calendar is a great place to check out activities that are happening, and the Boston Discovery Guide is another great tool to check out activities that are happening. So definitely make sure to check that out. Be updated and go find out what else you can do in Boston. Boston is a beautiful city and we're having a gorgeous weather lately, so do not miss out on that opportunity. Go find out. Go check it out, guys.
Well, for sure. And another thing is that it's also very safe. At least a lot of places in Boston are safe. It's not 100% the safest city you'll ever find. So, of course, also be a little bit careful wherever you're going, but other than that, definitely like everything you said, Donna, is completely right. It's definitely very walkable. You can get to learn a lot about the history of Boston. You see a lot of historical monuments as well as historical cemeteries and areas of the city that not only has history but a lot of character and personality. So that's one of the reasons why I love the city so much. So definitely make sure you enjoy and take advantage of whatever free opportunity you have to get to know more the city that you live.
I agree completely, V. I agree completely. But yes, guys, definitely we're probably both of us gonna take the advantage of doing one of these free activities this weekend. It's a gorgeous weather here. It's gorgeous weather. It's going to be an amazing weekend. I'm super excited. And I think I'll probably try to go to the Harvard Museum and see what's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I think that's a great opportunity, guys. Um, but yes, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into Approaching Your Future with your hosts, Dana Khan and Victor Rivero, where we discuss different cultural aspects of life in the United States. We will be back next Friday at 2 p.m. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at approach_USA to keep up with all the latest updates, our live streams, and all creative content that we put out for you.
Definitely. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll see you next week with more either tips or more interesting things that we like to talk about. And we hope that you learn a lot from that. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, V. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye, everyone. You too, Dana.